इलेक्शन के माहौल में इतनी मोहलत रहती है दोनों तरफ, क्योंकि आज नॉमिनेशन का सेकेंड लास्ट डे था, तो बहुत सारे पार्टियों के कैंडिडेट वहां पे थे और रश भी रहा। बहरहाल हमें खुशी है। और जैसे मैंने कहा, सबसे पहले तो सबको ये मुबारकबाद है कि एक खुली फिजा में जमहूरी अमल हो रहा है वादी कश्मीर में। 25-30 बरस जो हमने मंजर देखा कि जो ही इलेक्शन या वोटिंग का ऐलान होता तो दूसरी तरफ से हड़ताल का आह्वान हो जाता, कॉल होती और यहाँ पर दुकानें बंद हो जाती। इस बार जमहूरी अमल क्या है उसका एहसास लोगों को पहली बार हुआ, और मुझे लगता है कि इसके लिए हमें वजीर आजम नरेंद्र मोदी जी का भी शुक्रिया अदा करना। इस तरह का माहौल, इस तरह का वातावरण उन्होंने हमें मुहैया करवाया। आपने देखा डीडीसी की इलेक्शन में भी 70-80% तक वोटिंग हुई है, और अभी हाल ही में हुए पार्लियामेंट के इलेक्शन में जो नेशनल एवरेज थी लगभग उसी के मुकाबले में 60% के इर्द गिर्द। तो ये जब आप याद करेंगे वो जमाना कि जब 7, 8, 10% वोट हुआ करता था, और उसी से एमएलए भी चुने जाते, एमपी भी चुने जाते, सरकारें भी बन जाती। बल्कि मैंने तो एक बार पार्लियामेंट में ये भी कहा था कि कहीं शायद ऐसा कानून आए कि मिनिमम थ्रेशोल्ड तय कर दिया जाए कि कितना वोटर टर्नआउट हो, ताकि किसी एमपी या एमएलए को रिकग्निशन दी जा सके अपने उस खित्ते का तर्जुमान होने की। क्योंकि पार्लियामेंट में जहां 15, 18, 20 लाख वोटर होता है, महज 1 लाख वोटर या 10% वोटर कहां तक अपने आप को तर्जुमान कहला सकता है। और मुझे लगता है कि अगर उस नुक्ते नजर से देखें तो पहली बार कश्मीर वादी में आम शहरी की जमहूरी हसरतों को भी इजहार करने का मौका मिला। फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम डेमोक्रेसी इज फाइंडिंग इट्स आउटलेट इन कश्मीर वैली। दूसरा, एक बड़ी बदकिस्मती से हमें ये कहना पड़ रहा है कि आज ही कांग्रेस के सरबराह राहुल गांधी भी यहाँ पर दौरे पर हैं, और कुछ वक्त पहले वो रामबन में मुखातिब थे लोगों के साथ भी, मीडिया के साथ। And unfortunately, what he said, I think you have the answer to that, because today we live in an evidence-based era. It is not that what I say you would agree or what he says you would agree. It's an era of evidence-based facts. Tark tathya tulna. Even before I finish saying what I have said, a small child would take out a mobile from his pocket and check for the facts. Rahul Gandhi says कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी और मोदी जी एक बार फिर से जम्मू कश्मीर में नफरत फैलाने का काम कर रहे हैं, शुरू किया। I don't have to answer that because the answer is with you. You have been covering Jammu Kashmir, you've been covering Kashmir Valley over the last 30 years. आपने वो जमाना देखा। इन्हीं पार्टियों के द्वारा फैलाई गई नफरत की वजह से यहाँ पर दहशत पनपी, आतंक पनपा। For 30 long years, we had to live in the nightmare of terrorism, militancy, perpetuated by hatred, perpetuated by communal disharmony, and ruining the inherent cultural fabric of Kashmir, because Kashmir was always known for composite culture. And this was a region of the country where we never had any kind of disharmony among the communities. Even following the partition rights in 1947, Mahatma Gandhi said कि यहाँ से मुझे ray of होप दिखाई देती है, रोशनी की किरण दिखाई देती है, क्योंकि यहाँ पर एक भी ऐसा वाकया नहीं हुआ था। उस पुरअमन कश्मीर को, उस अमन पसंद अवाम को आपने ऐसा जहर घोला अपनी छोटी सियासत की खातिर। And then you also did not hesitate joining hands with the perpetrators from across Pakistan, and you ruined in the process 3 generations of Kashmiris over the last 3 decades. And जब इतनी मेहनत के बाद, इतनी मुशक्कत के बाद, after a lot of effort, after a lot of sincere endeavor, Prime Minister Modi has been able to restore that normalcy, when you can, with liberty, move around in Lal Chowk whenever you want to have an ice cream, or in the evening, if you have the mood, you can go to Adus for a kebab. ये माहौल ये मोदी जी की देन है। जब आपकी सरकार थी मरकज में, जब आपकी सरकार थी रियासत में, आप जरूरत नहीं करते थे अपने बंद कमरे से बाहर निकलने का। आप ही की सरकार मजबूर रखी थी कि आप बाहर नहीं जा सकते थे। आज मोदी जी की सरकार के चलते आपको इस तरह की आजादी है कि आप खुली फिजा में घूम सके। लेकिन हुआ क्या है कि 30 बरस तक उस दहशत की आड़ में 8-10% वोट की उस बराए राम जमहूरियत के पर्दे में पुश्त दर पुश्त कांग्रेस पार्टी अपनी सियासत चलाती रही। And when that myth has exploded, they are actually looking for it to be restored again. They want to push back Jammu Kashmir, particularly Kashmir Valley, into the same turmoil out of which Prime Minister Modi has pulled it out with tremendous effort. And I'm sure the common man walking in the streets of Srinagar will never allow that. This is a land of aspiration. Our youth is highly aspirational. He does not wish to miss the bus. Today, India is the 5th economy in the world. We are the 3rd startup system in the world. We have risen in the global innovation index from 81 to 40. We are becoming the most favorite destination in the world, both for entrepreneurship, both for employment. And the Kashmiri youth, being aspirational, does not wish to miss that opportunity, nor do we have any right to deprive him of that. और जो लोग इस तरह की बातें करते हैं कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी नफरत फैलाने का काम कर रही है, कि मोदी जी की सरकार नफरत फैलाने का काम कर रही है, वो कहीं ना कहीं जाने अनजाने में ये संकेत दे रहे हैं, ये इशारा कर रहे हैं कि हम चाहते हैं कि वही दौर वापस आए, वही 8% वोटर हो। और इलेक्शन ऑन द ईव ऑफ election talking like this instead of celebrating this festival of democracy. I've been saying again and again. True, that may be a strategic move also. No, 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 no. Who says? See, there was a transitory shift of focus by the terrorists from the Kashmir Valley to Jammu. That again is a contributory evidence to the fact that they were facing the heat in Kashmir Valley. And the common man was out. There was no support from the common man. That means most of it was sponsored from the extraneous sources or external sources. So when the heat was felt, they tried to shift the focus to Jammu region. But then the security forces have also revised their strategy, which of course can't be discussed in public. And following that, I'm sure in next few days or months, there'll be end of that. There's no widespread militancy or terrorism witnessed in Jammu as it was here, maybe in 90s or the early first decade of this century. It's a good sign. Now, there are two aspects to it. A, if you want a very direct answer, I'm not entitled to that because these are very sensitive questions. The Ministry of External Affairs has cognizance of inputs which are dynamic, and therefore I would not like to speak out of turn. But if you see in principle, in totality, you recall the day of 26 May 2014, when Narendra Modi was to be sworn in as Prime Minister. He called all the heads of states from the neighboring countries. The neighbors first was and always been India's approach. But then you have to clap with two hands. You can't shake hands with a clenched fist. So I don't. India has, and Prime Minister Modi has never been averse to having good relations. But strategically, how much to move forward and what are the responses, I think the concerned agencies in the Ministry of External Affairs, they take a call accordingly, depending upon the inputs from time to time. One in last. I don't think so much because, as I said, I'm not. Whenever I've been talking to media, and you've been associated with us almost 2 decades. I never spoke against any individual or man. I don't make individual. Secondly, I would not speak without evidence. Now, if the evidence is that in the media it sounds very glorious, New Alliance, India Alliance, but if you see otherwise, it has existed there for almost 15 years. The name changes. Sometimes it is called UP Alliance, sometimes it is called Gupkar Alliance, sometimes it is called Congress NC Alliance. Now, for example, even in Lok Sabha in 2014, take my own case. I had a single candidate against me, put up by Congress, National Conference, and PDP, all the three. The name of the alliance that time was different. Farooq Abdullah is saying this is the answer for those. Then in 2019, again we had a single candidate, but the name was UP Alliance. This time again we had a single candidate, but the name is India Alliance. In other words, what happens is they choose a name. When the name doesn't sell in the market, they do a repackaging. But the product is the same. It's like selling a pack of biscuits. It doesn't do well in the market. So far as marketing strategies change. So I think even in the last elections, we were facing common candidates from these alliances, and doesn't impact the prospects of the BJP, because we have our hardcore following, and which is based on consistency. We spoke of abrogation of 370. We started speaking about it right from 1951-52 when the Jansangh was established. It's not that we start talking now. Secondly, as far as this alliance is concerned, more than me, the media would like to ask Congress party, where does it stand? It is in favor of 370 or it is against 370. Now, the most hilarious part is that Congress party is in favor of continuing 370 and bringing back 370 like a national conference in Kashmir Valley. But when it goes to Jammu, it is in favor of abrogation of Article 3. So it is neither here nor there. As I said, in the last 2 decades or 3 decades earlier, you could have three statements for three regions: Jammu, Kashmir, and Delhi. Now it's no longer so. And that's why they are quiet. They are neither here nor there. No, but what has the Congress to say? Are they with them or with not them? They are with them over here. They are not with them in Jammu region. They are for 370 in Kashmir against 370 in Jammu. So this is and I think it's not difficult for any common thinker or even common voter to understand the fragility or the hypocrisy of this alliance.